All right, y'all. The hawk is flying. So today is Freedom Day. Happy Juneteenth. To all of my beautiful people out there, I was about to start this video and I looked up and the hawk was flying. So it's time. We're here. This is what we were supposed to be doing in the moment. Yeah, I was ready for camp today. We had our Juneteenth celebration. And so we encouraged the students to dress in Juneteenth colors, celebrating freedom. We had conversations this morning about what freedom means to you in my class. And it's so interesting to hear that from the perspective of kids, like middle schoolers, high schoolers. And one of the girls said, eventually she shared and she was like, I don't believe in freedom. I don't think we are ever truly ever free from everything. And I was just shocked to hear her say that, because that's just such a, I want to say not even elevated thought process, but it's very like an older perspective for her age. Like maybe she's had some experiences, or, just observe that, if all of us aren't free, none of us are free. Because that's the type of world we live in, that somebody is always constrained. But hearing her continue to talk, she was like, even as an individual person, like, you're never truly free from everything. And so we talked about, and that's where I shared with them my journal this morning. Let me see. I'll share it with y'all so y'all know what I'm talking about. So after we started talking about that, so in my journal, I wrote, you don't have to dream big all at once, but little by little, if you give space for a bigger dream and take steps forward towards that, once you're in it, you make space for something else. Freedom for me is the ability to dream a dream that is in alignment with my heart. Nothing anyone else wants for me matters if I don't want it for myself. I learned how to really start wanting things for myself. My mom said the other day, how do you pray for things and be surprised when you get it? Who does that? I laughed. But it made me realize that I'm finally stepping into my freedom and my dream, because now I believe that I can have it, and your future self is waiting on you to dream of what freedom looks like for you. Be brave enough to dream. Happy Juneteenth, Freedom Day. And so when I say that, like, your future self is waiting for you to dream big enough, or to dream, can't remember what I said now, but to dream, dang it, I don't know why that just slipped my mind. Your future self is waiting on you to dream of what freedom looks like to you. As I've been kind of in this season, I've been really noticing these are the conversations I was having with myself years ago. These were the things that I was saying I wanted to experience, I wanted to have, like even being surrounded by a community that feels like my family. That was one of the things, is I come from a very loving home, a very loving family, a very open family, a very like community oriented family. That's just how we operated. You didn't really have your own thing. We shared everything. I have 5 older sisters. So you can imagine what that's like. I got a big family on both sides, my mom and my dad's side. So I've just always been surrounded by family and love, and I've never had to question that. And then you go into the world and you're like, whoa, like everybody doesn't operate like that. And you know that, but you still think it's like a lot more rampant than it is. And a lot of people live individualized lives. They don't live in community. They don't support each other. And even when they do, there's so many stipulations, and I'm not even gonna call them boundaries. There's stipulations to fit into the Western world that keeps us from doing that. So one of the other things I shared with the students was the Healing Wisdom of Africa. There was one quote in there that talks about using your gifts, and pretty much how our gifts come alive even more in community, because community is for rituals, it's for grieving, it's for growing, it's for healing. And a lot of times in the Western society, we don't get to lean into that deeper healing because we don't do it in community. So all that to say, I found a family that feels like home. Like I found a family away from my family that feels like home. I'm not married. I don't have kids. But I have met people who make me feel very like full. And it's just, I'm just amazed every day to have that experience. Even where I live right now, even though it's temporary, like just all these different things you know, where I wanted, even like this desk being in front of the window. I'm like, oh my God, I love windows. A window being in my bathroom. That's always one of the things I'm like, I just want a window in my, and it seems so little, but when you're finally sitting in it, it's just very breathtaking, because it's not just that, it's like what this represents, you know, again, bringing up leaving my job, wanting to do the type of work that I get to do now, like all of it. My whole life has changed and shifted because I dreamed at some point. And even though I wasn't at the point where the things I dreamed of, I knew I would have, or I thought I would have, it was still destined for me to start thinking about it, start considering what that would look like. Literally consider your soul. Again, I'm Marasia Simone. I don't think I introduced myself. But like considering your soul, considering what you were created for, the experience you were created to have, where you want to be. And it just starts with a thought, an idea. I wonder what that would be like, a curiosity. And so your future self is waiting on you to do that. And then it may take a while, it may take longer than you expect, but things start to shift. I'm not living the life I was living a year ago. And I say that all the time. But yeah, so when she said that, the student, about how, you know, like no one's ever really free, I believe, yes, there are a lot of parts of us that are still chained. And a lot of that, you know, some of that does have to deal with our blackness. And then some of that has to deal with being human in a world, in the type of world that we live in. And so that's why like our spiritual work, our spiritual journey is so deeply important, because you can go to places of freedom when your body isn't feeling it. You can go to those places. You can create those places. And then your whole world starts to shift around you. And so you're not thinking of, okay, where am I not free now? Where am I not free now? Where am I still chained? You're getting to live in the parts of you that are free and feel that and experience that. And then your mind starts to shift where you realize like there's more freedom out there. There's more freedom out there, and you realize it's attainable, and you realize, you know, you keep dreaming. And I think that's the dream. That's the ancestral legacy. That's the thing that keeps going, is the fact that you can dream of freedom. You can dream of a different freedom. That's why we may be fighting for a lot of the same freedoms that our ancestors, our grandparents had to fight for. But we're also living a completely different life than they did. And we have to acknowledge that. And in some of those ways, they would be joyful to be in those spaces. And so I think that is how the freedom is obtained, that is how you break the generational trauma or cycle. It's not always the things that your ancestors did wrong for the cycles that you're breaking. Sometimes it's the things they did right, and you're continuing to build on those things. You're continuing to dream of something else, fight for something else. Like that builds on, and that's how your ancestral line is healed. That's how you keep moving forward. So freedom is attainable, even if it's not all at once or in all capacities. It's obtainable, and we can't stop believing in freedom. Like we can't stop doing that. Because then what is life? What is legacy? If you no longer believe in freedom, what are you leaving behind? Why are you leaving it behind? So that's my 2 cents today. The drink today is water, because your girl needs water. Definitely dehydrated. I think my body stays dehydrated. But let's see what the message is for us for Juneteenth. What is it? Testimony. I think that was confirmation. Testimony is your confirmation card. Like sometimes it's like giving your testimony, sharing your story, something in you that needs to be shared. But because this came out right after we just finished this conversation, I think this is confirmation that this is the message, that we are talking about what freedom looks like in the next generation, and we are the next generation, and there's other generations after us. And so we have to continue to believe in freedom. We have to continue to be looking and searching for freedom. You know, of course, when you feel like you got there, you enjoy, you enjoy it, you celebrate it. And that's what today is about, celebrating that freedom. And of course, there's always more work to do, but you can't live your life always thinking of all the work there is to do, because that's so overwhelming. And the medicine we made today at camp, Unstressalizer, which is lemon balm, is really like, why did I bring that up? Yeah, it's some of the medicine for dealing with heavy stress, the heavy burden of being the one who can see the places that we're still locked in, seeing the places that we're still trapped, sometimes you need to slow that down. Sometimes you need to come back into your body, and you need to see the joy in the moment, and you need to remove some of the stress and anxiety of all the things, just to celebrate. And so the next two cards we got was stagnancy. Stagnancy. It's the chain card. And then we got harmony. Tree is harmony. And so part of me always, this stagnancy card always stomps me, because it's like, are you telling me that I'm being stagnant right now? Or are you telling me that there is a stagnancy? And just when I said that, I feel like more of there is a stagnancy present, that requires us to get back in harmony with ourselves, to get in harmony with our heart. That hawk has been flying, child. I thought it was a vulture, but it really is a hawk. Because I'm looking at the wings, and the vultures don't look like that. And it's because you can't usually see through their wings. It's so dark. I'd be sad if I was wrong. So sad. But I feel like it's a white body, so I think it's a hawk. It's flying right by the light, by the sunshine. Even though it's cloudy, so I can't see it clearly. Even the camera, I can't see that clearly anymore. But the hawk is here. So when we think of bondage, we conjure to the minds or what we conjure to mind, chains or bars. I never read that sentence right. I was just reading the sentence the other day in the reading. So yeah, this is talking about the chains that exist in our mind, the ways that our thought process keeps us stuck. And so this is definitely going to be about, how this belief or this idea that we don't have freedom keeps us locked in a state of not living in the spaces of freedom that we do have access to, because we believe that freedom is blocked at every corner, so why try? It's a very hopeless mindset, and without hope we have no future, so like on the hope card you have the baby, like it's safe to hope again, it's safe to dream again, it's safe to love again. If I had to guess, that'd probably be one of the next cards that come out. But then the next card, tree, talks about reciprocity. It talks about living in reciprocity with nature, living with the give and receive kind of mindset, and being in alignment. That's not it. That's not what we're looking for. And being in alignment with, being in harmony with yourself, being in harmony with nature, with the things above, as above, so below. So the next card I got tower, but that didn't really feel right. It was saying to use your tools because it came in reverse. I was telling you to use your tools, but it is. I mean, that probably is relevant because it's telling you to use your tools to get into alignment. The altar card came up, which is about walking hand in hand with your ancestors, being in alignment with the soul's call, with the soul's path, and being in alignment with your legacy. When you think of walking hand in hand with your ancestors, that's your legacy. You are walking with your legacy. You're moving into your legacy. These mosquitoes ate me up. So yeah, this is definitely considering the places, the mental state of stagnancy. That is one of the biggest things we're breaking away from, that we don't even see. Because there's so much that we can, like she said in the card, there's so much we can conjure in our minds. And so until we start to believe and dream again, and believe that there's something else for us, there's another experience that we're reaching for, that we're grabbing for, that the people before us knew about, that we now get to do. And so if we've lost that, we've lost our legacy. And our legacy is what we have that lives on. It is how we still live on. It is how the future exists. And so, yeah, I know there's a lot of negativity around, there is no future, there is no hope, there is no, we're just living in turmoil and death. And one of the things that I remember my teacher talked to us about was that there will always be people suffering. There will always be people suffering. And so sitting around and almost meditating on that thought, that becomes all that you are. And so yes, as people we suffer, as humans, there are whole civilizations that are suffering, whole countries that are suffering, But for you to sit in a space of stagnancy when you have the power to not suffer, when you have the power to shift things, to see things differently, and watch your world come alive around you, that is a whole different conversation. And that's where we are right now, is watching the world come alive around us. That is the dream. That is the freedom that we do have access to, is creating a new world. And you can do that physically, you can do that spiritually, you can do that mentally, creating a new world. But it starts in the mind. It starts with what we think and what we believe. And so the whole journey is about conjuring up new ideas of freedom, conjuring up new ideas of the future, of who you are and who you want to be and how you want to show up, how you exist in community. And it's a journey. And so everybody's talking about the healing work. We're always talking about healing and all these things. But the healing is the legacy. Like, being able to focus on your healing is a gift. Like, that's a blessing, because people didn't have time for that back in the day. It was survival only. It was literal survival, physical survival. You know, fight or flight was your existence that you were born into. There was no space to have a calm moment, to quiet down. You had to create those. And so now, to me, with us having a lot more freedom to choose where we want to be in the day, to do jobs that fill our soul, to take care of and be in community with people who reciprocate that. Like, these are choices that we have, and they're choices that we have to take. Like, to me, at this point, and maybe this is above me, it feels like we have to take that freedom. We have to spend the time to connect deeply to that freedom. And we have to believe that it exists. Everything that happened before was for nothing if we don't believe that freedom exists. And I definitely feel like that student was very, like, that was true. And that was her truth. But it's not a truth that I choose to carry. Because what happens in my mind is that I start to, you know, if I carry things for too long, I start to believe them. And it starts to put doubt into my mind. When I'm on the cusp of something new, of something that allows me to be in a space of more freedom, I start to believe, oh no, it's going to be taken from me. Oh no, I can't have that. Remember, like, you start to remember those negative thoughts. And so for me to protect my space, like, those are not things I can carry. And so I see you, I hear you, and I hope that you get what you need to support you in that space. But I'm not carrying that. And she's not wrong. She's absolutely not wrong, but it's not my truth anymore. And it had been for a long time. You know, will you ever be okay? Will you ever be out of it? Will you ever, you know, all of those things. And, you know, I know that God, I know that Spirit is telling me to let that go. Your freedom is in knowing that you don't have to handle it all. You don't have to figure it all out. Your goal, your job, your responsibility is to listen to that heart and to move with it. And it's almost like there's this promise of, I promise you, if you just follow your heart. I promise you, if you lean into that. I promise you, if every decision you ask, you check your heart. Check your heart space. Check your, I forgot what they said, but check your heart space. And you start to walk into your freedom. You start to learn freedom in a way you never knew existed. So that's what I had today. There's so much heaviness in the world, but today is a day of celebrating freedom, celebrating the freedoms that you do have. And so don't forget to celebrate. Even if you just write something, release something, have a drink, go on a walk, do something that really makes you feel joy and embodied and free. And if you're not watching this on actual Juneteenth, because I know how YouTube is with uploading, then this is the day that you celebrate. If you missed the celebration on Juneteenth, this is the day that you choose to celebrate. So happy Juneteenth, happy Freedom Day. And I hope that y'all remember the people who came before y'all, because you wouldn't be here if they didn't do some sort of sacrifice. If somebody down your line did not sacrifice, you wouldn't be here. So honor your ancestors, call their names, get to know who they are, get to know their stories, love on them, and let them love on you. And happy Juneteenth, and I will see y'all next time.